With Sparking Zero being confirmed as a main headliner at Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour 2026, I think it's safe to assume that this game isn't going anywhere. There is a lot of potential for future content, and I wanted to go over what the next DLC will be after the release of DLC 3. Sparking Zero DLC Pack 4. Yeah, I know, that's kind of crazy. We're talking about another DLC that's coming after DLC 3, with DLC 3 not even being announced or shown yet. It hasn't even been released. So why are we talking about this? Well, I thought it would be a good idea to discuss the future potential of this game going into 2026, just because we do have a confirmation that Sparking Zero is going to be one of the main games that's going to get its own stage and everything at Battle Hour 2026, which is going to be around late April. So with the Switch release being a thing, that's going to be in November, it's very likely that Sparking Zero will be continuing to get additional content, or even maybe a potential sequel. We don't know exactly what their plan is, but the smart move for them, okay, the move that is good in terms of, you know, marketing, business, whatever it may be, is to, you know, just create more DLC. DLC is going to be the most profitable thing. As you guys know, the DLC is very expensive. And again, I'm not saying this as a consumer. From a consumer perspective, this is awful, right? The more DLC is, I mean, for some people, I guess it would be good. But realistically, us paying another $35 for another season pass is, that's a lot of money, right? You're not really getting a lot of content. It's just mainly characters, but they could change that, okay? Once DLC 3 releases, we are pretty much in uncharted territory when it comes to this game. We don't know what the plan or direction may be. Are they going to keep doing DLC with just characters? Will they do free updates that add stages or customization? Possibilities are endless, right? There is a lot of potential for this game, and it's been untapped, right? We've just been getting characters, and the best part about this is that they probably won't have the crazy deadlines and restrictions that they had with this season pass, because they specifically had a plan, right? We had a roadmap, well, not really a roadmap, but, you know, a plan of what was to come for this DLC, right? The season pass said Superhero for DLC 1, Daima DLC 2, and Daima DLC 3, right? 2 Daima packs. We still have no idea when that's coming. It should be coming this month. I don't know exactly when. Hopefully, you know, by the end of the month, but I don't see it getting delayed any further, right? So obviously this isn't real. This is made, you know, a concept that I personally made using some mods. Shout out to all the modders. I believe Emmy Gamer 64, I think that's their name. They created a few of these, so I'm gonna link them down below if you guys want to check them out. They're pretty decent, but for now, this is just kind of my idea for what DLC 4 specifically could be. I think it'd be good to just go ahead and finish off GT, just because there aren't a whole lot of GT characters left. We have pretty much every major character for the most part. Obviously, you could say GT Trunks, GT Goten, you know, GT Gohan, whatever. They tend to not really do those characters. GT Trunks is probably the #1 character that they would add out of those three. But for the most part, I think a GT Vegeta makes sense, because we already have Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, right? So it's weird that even in the original Tenkaichi games, GT Vegeta wasn't a thing. Remember, they called Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta the second form version of him, which is the end of, I guess, Buu Saga variant, right? Very weird that they did it like that. Again, I don't know why they did not include GT Vegeta as a playable character, or even an outfit or anything, right? So maybe this could be the first Sparking or Tenkaichi game that actually does it. It's, you know, this is a character, this is a version of Vegeta that actually does have material. You can use Xenoverse 2 as a great example, right, for making a pretty damn cool version of this you know, variant of Vegeta, right? So utilize that, and we'll be good to go with him. I think they only really need to give him Super Saiyan. I don't think it was ever, like, shown specifically that he used Super Saiyan 2 in the anime. They could, because he has it in Xenoverse 2, so I guess. But again, they're going to have to, like, make some shit up or give him something generic. And a lot of these characters, full power energy wave up the ass, right? Now, when it comes to these three right here, okay, Super 17, I think Super 17 is like the #1 character that people want to see as additional DLC, just because they had every villain from GT, but not him, right? He was a major villain. He had his own arc, right? They call it the Super 17 arc. So it's very odd that they didn't include him, and it's likely because he's just the, you know, least popular choice. Obviously, Baby and Omega Shenron are like the two big popular ones, right? But again, he has his own arc. He is like the middle, the middle brother of the GT saga, right? Yeah, the exploration thing. I guess Metal Dildo, Metal Rildo, that fucker. If you want to add him in there, great. I personally would not lose any sleep. I don't care about Dildo Rildo. But Sin and, or sorry, not Sin. He's already in the game. What is it? Nova and Ice Shenron, I feel like should also be included. I believe they were also in the original Tenkaichi game. I mean, at least for Tenkaichi 3. They're in Xenoverse 2. Generally, when they have Omega/Sin Shenron, they usually incorporate these two as well, just because, you know, they have unique material. They're pretty major, you know, final boss type of characters. Like, these were the two characters, the two, I guess, final Shenron characters before Sin/Omega, right? So you would have to, you know, eventually include them in this game as well. So I think this is a pretty good lineup. Like I said, you can throw in one other character in this and make it, you know, better if you want to do Metal Dildo Rildo. I think DLC 4 should be GT, just because, like I said, there aren't too many characters left over from the original games, right? That you need to include. When it comes to OG Dragon Ball, we have so many that need to be in. There are a lot of movie characters from Dragon Ball Z that they haven't incorporated. And there are a ton of Dragon Ball Super characters that they actually still don't have yet, right? So we can save that for later, but I think GT, it's just got such a small amount of characters in general, right? And just not too many, you know, left over that they need to do. So just go ahead and, like, complete it. You know what I mean? That's just what I personally would want. And there are leaks and data mines that support this. Shout outs to this here. We have a Japanese YouTuber was messing around with making characters transform into other characters and accidentally discovered that Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta has a unique transformation animation. And this is absolutely true. I covered this a while back when the game got, you know, data mines and, like, you know, modding and everything and cheats, right? And this transformation gives him his iconic pose that he does in the anime, right? This is not a pose or anything that he has specifically as his character standalone. This is only when a forced transformation is triggered to get to this character. For example, if you modded this character within the files and you had, what is it, Z-End Vegeta go beyond Super Saiyan 2, right? And you force transformed him into Super Saiyan 4, he would have this animation. It's very odd that this is in the game, likely because it was either scrapped or something that's planned in the future. It's one of those two, right? So this could likely mean that in the future, we could see a GT Vegeta that can transform and utilize this animation, right? There's so many things left in the files or in just the data in general that have gone unused, which is unfortunate. And we'll talk about that in a separate video just to kind of reiterate what we could see in the future. But another thing, now this one isn't, I don't want to say it was confirmed or anything. This was via this data mine that we had. What was it for, like, I mean, this is just an example of, like, one of the things where it was like there were hidden stages and, like, you know, characters. And when I say hidden stages, I mean that these are actual maps. These are things that are in the game, for example, right? Not every single one of these, like Capsule Corporation, Cell Games Destroyed, I believe, and Kame House, and also Kame's Lookout. Those are just stages that are, they're maps that are actually like environments, right? On the main menu of the game. You know how you go to the Summon the Dragon, you see Dende, you're on Kame's Lookout, right? You go to customization in the shop, and it's Kame House, right? Those are just examples, right, of maps that are there, but they're not playable. You know what I mean? Only if you use mods and you force, you know, yourself to get into those maps will it actually work. Same thing with Capsule Corporation. That's, you know, at the very start when you open the game up, and you go to episode battle and everything, that's also there as well, right? So these are just kind of examples. There was a data mine that was going around that was showing, I don't even know exactly what it was. These are just like character IDs. I think that's all it really was. And I wouldn't put too much stock into this, but Chuck Huber, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He is the voice actor of Android 17. And whenever this was posted, Chuck was like, ... So he was probably like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I could have been voicing Super 17, but he's not in the game. That's all that means. That doesn't mean like the voice actors are like the last people to know whenever they're getting, you know, a role in the games, right? They have no idea. Or even the animator, like a movie, they're like it's like very last minute. They're like, hey, by the way, guys, especially the English voice actors too, right? It's like, hey, by the way, we have a role for you, and this DLC is coming out like next week, so I need you to lock in the booth, right? But yeah, Super 17, he was one of the characters listed on just the character IDs. Doesn't mean anything. It could be stuff that's planned or it was scrapped. I feel like it was a scrapped idea. They probably wanted to have him. And again, that it's likely that we could get him in the future. But you know what I mean? It's just kind of one of those things where it's like they had to meet that deadline of releasing this at the same fucking day as the first episode of Daima's debut, right? That was a mistake. That was absolutely a mistake. I don't think that really pushed for Daima or even Sparking Zero. I think they could have released them separately at different times, and they both would have performed great. You know what I mean? People have been anticipating a Sparking game like this for many, many years. You could have released this, you know, this year, right? In 2025, and people would still have bought this shit up the ass, right? And maybe that would have been a better idea because, you know, maybe the Switch version, Switch 2 version, like this game really should have came out later, like around this time. You know what I mean? Like the 1 year anniversary that we're getting right now, which no confirmation of what that's actually going to be, if they're going to do anything special for it. But I'm just saying, like, it should have been released late 2025. I feel like there was no reason to rush it out at the same time as... I know why they did it for Daima, right? That's obviously the reason why. But it wouldn't have made that much of a difference. Maybe some people would be like, oh, this game is taking too long to release. But, like, have a set release date. Say it's coming out October 2025. And actually fucking cook. You have so much more time, right? You have a whole year to do stuff. Add more content, stages, customization, whatever it may be, right? They could have done it like that. But again, I know why they did it like this. The DLC, everything. The way that they planned this out was good for them, but not good for the fan base. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these are just examples of things that are in the data, gone unused, and should be utilized in the future for whatever's, you know, going to come for 2026, right? Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they lock in. Hopefully they turn this game around, right? A game like, what was that game called? Cyberpunk, right? Horrible, horrendous launch. Bad. Shit. Okay, I'll chill. Look at it now. They made changes. They updated the game. They fixed things that people had concerns with, bugs, whatever, you know, whatever it may be. I don't know what the state of the game is right now, but it's way better than it was initially. Now, I'm not saying that Sparking Zero will ever get back up to 120,000 players. It's just not realistic. But maybe get up to around 5 to 10K players. I think that's pretty realistic as long as they make this game better. They keep applying changes. They add content that people want to see. Maybe new game modes. You know, there's so much that this game could do, and I think people would be ready to jump back in, right? But like I said, it's not gonna, you know, have a crazy consistent player base like it did at launch. It's just not happening, right? I think we all need to accept that. If you haven't already accepted that, then I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game overall, and there's just a lot of potential for it. So hopefully, like I said, we see good direction moving forward after DLC 3. Who knows what they're going to do? But I'll keep you guys posted and updated. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to see, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.